We are the Radcast, where we've created this platform where everyone has an opportunity to share. Today's episode hits close to home as we're residents of Wittmann, Arizona. We're coming to you today because our community is facing a huge threat from a project proposed by the BNSF Railway. BNSF wants to build the nation's largest railway depot in our county, consuming over 4,300 acres of the Sonoran Desert turned into an industrial park. They plan to run trains, trucks, cranes, and warehouses around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They say it'll bring jobs and economic growth, but at what cost? The cost to our community and our environment is far too high. This hub will bring thousands of semi-trucks every single day onto roads like the US 60 that were never built for this kind of heavy traffic. We'll face additional gridlock, more accidents, and danger for school buses, emergency services, and everyday drivers. Our clean air is going to be choked by diesel fumes from trucks and trains. People with asthma, children, and the elderly will be the first to suffer. This project will suck up huge amounts of water in a desert that's already running dry, and it risks contaminating our groundwater with industrial spills. Let's talk about the desert itself. This land isn't empty, it's alive. BNSF's hub would bulldoze the habitat for burrowing owls, desert tortoises, and countless other species that call this place home. The dark skies we treasure will be gone, replaced by floodlights blazing all night long. Our quiet rural way of life is under threat. Property values will plummet. Horse owners, farmers, and families who moved here for peace and open space will be surrounded by noise, lights, and industrial chaos. BNSF says this is progress, but for us it's devastation. The project is simply too big, too disruptive, and in the wrong place. We're not against economic growth at all. We just believe it shouldn't come at the cost of our health, our water, our environment, our way of life, and the very character of our community. I'm asking our county leaders to stand with the people who live here, protect Wittmann, protect our desert, and say no to the BNSF Rail Hub. All right, episode 5. We've got the president of Keep Us Rural here, Jeff August. Appreciate having you coming out and spending some time with us. We talk about Random Ass Dudes podcast and how it really is super random on the guests that we have on and things we talk about. Today's a little bit different, just because this is so important to, especially our community when we're talking about the topic of this. But having you come in, you've done a lot of research, you've been heavily involved in this, and we really just kind of want to pick your brain a little bit. I know I've lived in the community just for a year now. Shane, you've been here 3 years.
Yep, since 2022.
But the impact, of the things that we're getting ready to talk about are significant, right? So, being the president of Keep Us Rural, what is Keep Us Rural? How does that affect the BNSF and what's going on right now?
Well, essentially, Keep Us Rural is an organization that I developed back in 2022 with a friend of mine, Heather Abadi. She and I had come up with this group because we wanted to fight the overdevelopment, and 6 homes on 1 acre. We've got a couple of developers who are trying to do that, and we're trying to stop them. So once we've been working on that since then, we've had several meetings with the community, and now we've got the railroad ramping up huge, and now we've got so many more people joining Keep Us Rural, supporting us, donating money to help pay for the attorneys, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to fight big government. We're here to fight the railroad, and we're here to incorporate Wittmann.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we don't incorporate Wittmann, we don't have a voice in government, and we don't have a choice. They take it away from us. So as a community, if you want to have a choice in how this community is run, then we need to incorporate.
Okay. So you mentioned legal fees and stuff like that. So this is already to the point where there's legal implications and that stuff's already going on, correct?
Actually, yes. Our attorney has already developed the petition that goes before the people to sign for incorporation.
Okay.
And he's also developed the notice going to the Board of Supervisors here within a few days, letting them know where we stand. We are incorporating ourselves. We are going to be our own entity.
Okay. Now, how does incorporating change, I guess, how we operate currently? What does that look like?
Well, we are in charge of
Okay.
Whoever the committee, basically how it works is we need at least 10% of the community to sign a petition to go to a vote. Then the community gets to vote. If we get 2/3 of the community that basically signs a petition, it goes automatically to the Board of Supervisors down in Maricopa County, and they just sign off on it. Then we are officially known as the town of Wittmann.
Okay.
We will have our own government. It's going to be a very small government. I don't like government. I've worked in government. I was in the military for 25 years, so I know all that.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep it very small. We also want to have our own planning and permit organization. So that way we decide how many homes on an acre. It'll be one.
Right.
We're going to keep this rural. That's our name. Keep us rural. You know, we like to see the cows out here. We like to have our horses out here. I've got horses. My wife has horses. I've got a lot of friends with horses, and we don't want to see that change. If Surprise comes in and annex us, we have to follow their rules.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to follow their rules. We want to follow our rules, and that'll be up to the residents of Wittmann to decide the rules.
Is there any sort of like pushback to keep or to get Wittmann what is it called? Incorporated.
We've had a couple of naysayers.
Yeah.
You know, they're afraid that we might become our own big government, and I hate government.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a government, but we have to have some kind of small government to actually make change for us and to take care of Wittmann. Otherwise, we're going to follow under someone else's rules.
I think, like, at the end of the day, you know, times are changing. The city's growing. The city's, you know, life is coming out this way, right? And I remember when me and you had that conversation, and you asked me about incorporating, and I don't know enough about it to say yes or no, but I do know that change needs to happen because change is coming, and I would much rather have a say in our change than somebody else.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. I've noticed that we've already started to see Surprise signs moving further and further west.
Yes.
So does that mean that they've already taken part of Wittmann?
They've taken parts of Wittmann up to 163rd, and there's also a part that comes up to Patton Road over by the arena, but that's about as far as they've gone. They have taken some of the strip along 60, like in Wells and Delgado's area.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if we don't stop them, their plan for 2040 is going all the way up to Highway 74. That's what they want to take. They want to take us, they want to take Morristown, and they want to take Circle City all the way up. So we're the last hope for the West Valley.
Yeah.
Wittmann is the standing ground. We are the ones fighting the railroad. We are the ones fighting Surprise. And we need everybody from Wittmann to Wickenburg to join in, and we need the help.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. When we talk about becoming incorporated, right, if we're able to accomplish that, how does that impact our decision-making when it comes to the railway depot? My understanding is this thing's already done. It's already going to happen.
Well, it's not already done.
Okay.
And the reason why is because the county commissioners have not, Board of Supervisors, they have not rezoned that area. That area is zoned for housing.
Oh, okay.
Period. Okay. That area was also designated for the Natterburg High School back when. And, you know, in the middle of the night, BNSF came to the state of Arizona Land Trust, you know, got them to do a midnight auction and basically stole the land.
Okay.
Okay. No one else had a chance to get that land. That was for the school. So, you know, there's a lot of people kind of upset about that alone.
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I thinking about all the people that are out here now that would have wanted to buy some of that land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know I'd have been one of them, you know, and to not be able to even have opportunities to continue to keep it in the community is a problem.
Well, according to what I've read, the person who sold the land, the state land trust lady, I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but she's under review right now, and because the way she sold it.
Interesting.
How was that?
She just sold it without anybody else bidding on it.
Really?
And so there's other decisions that she's made that has got the government looking at her pretty tight.
Yeah, because then you got to kind of wonder, is there influence there?
Yeah.
Right? Is there some sort of
financial?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Government,
you know, someone greased someone's hands from the BNSF to the State Land Trust, you know, to purchase that land without any, without telling any of us.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I kind of had like a list of stuff that I think that the community has issues with, like traffic safety, noise, light, the 24-hour operations, the environmental impacts that's going to happen, property values, and I think the most important is our way of life out here, and also transparency and trust. There hasn't been a whole lot of that from the railroad side, I feel like.
The railroad has lied to us on every point. We've asked them for information at meetings. We don't know. What's your transportation impact, traffic impact analysis? They did that on September 24th. They did it for 1 day. You're supposed to do it for 3 days consecutively. They failed that. So that alone is inadequate and misleading from their point of view.
So, I mean, just thinking about the transportation piece of it, right? My understanding is that it's not even going to be the 60 necessarily where they're running trucks. It's going to be 211th Avenue to Carefree Highway to I-17. Is that correct? That's the route they're talking about?
They're talking about a lot of different routes. They're talking about the 60 and the 211th to 74.
Because 211th is one way in, one way out. Like, I don't know how the hell you plan on putting 2,000 trucks down a road that's one lane.
They're talking 22,000 trucks a day.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's morning and night.
Right. And there's ranches out there that are on 211th Avenue.
Yeah.
And you think about, you and I were just talking about this. Like, I've only been out here a year. And we instantly think about the impact on us as human beings, but what about our animals? I mean, there's high dollar horses that are out here that are going to be directly impacted by that stuff.
The entire roping industry is going to be impacted by this.
Yeah.
Wickenburg is the roping capital of the world. Okay. Right. The trucks are going to go from Wittmann down south to 10. They're going to go 211th to 74. They're going to go 60 past Wickenburg all the way up to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a major impact on traffic through Wickenburg. Just look at how many accidents with trucks right now in all the circles up there, the traffic circles. These cars are going between the traffic circle and the trucks and getting nailed. Right. But it's just going to increase.
Well, think about how many accidents are 163rd and
oh my God,
yeah.
I mean, that's going to significantly increase. There's already semis blowing through the lighted Delgados.
Yeah, I had one going through that the other day.
Yeah,
it was a tanker. Just blew right through the red light.
Yeah, I just don't know that we're prepared.
We are a rural community out here.
Yes,
our roads are the rural roads.
Yeah,
they are not built for this type of traffic that's going to be coming in at all.
Well, you get off of Grand Avenue and 80% of the roads are dirt.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which means the blacktop that is out here is going to be consumed by these trucks.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is the BNSF has decided, and they are not going to do any road improvements. They're not going to do any infrastructure upgrades for their facility. Their facility alone is what they're going to do.
Yep.
They're not going to do anything for our roads.
No.
The state of Arizona has put in $1.2 billion or something like that in infrastructure upgrades. So what does that mean? That means we, the taxpayers, are paying for BNSF.
Yeah.
Right.
Warren Buffett can pay for his own crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yes. There's so much land out there. I don't understand why it has to be right here where there's homes.
Well, there's a ton of room on the west side of Tonopah.
Right.
10. I mean, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
The railroad comes from that way, from California.
Mm.
And they're talking about, bringing these containers here, not even, inspected, and opening them here. What's going to be in those containers?
Right.
Can with terrorists, bombs, what?
Yeah.
I'm more worried about like the hazmat part of it.
Me too.
Being so close to the school, because our kids are going to end up going to Natterburg here this year, and I mean just seeing how close it is to that school.
Doesn't it border the school?
Yes, it does. Basically,
it does.
The railroad runs between both elementary schools. Okay, Natterburg and Morristown. Can you imagine if they had a derailment like they did up in Palestine, Ohio, with a chemical lease. Okay, if that happens between those two schools, we'll never get those kids out in time.
Yeah.
That will kill our kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And and who's ever watching this that kind of wants to drive by that area, go drive by after it rains. And you can see where it all runs down. And it's all going towards that school,
So anything that spills is going that direction.
Anything that spills is going in that direction. And then, our water.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they want to take 1 million gallons of water a day.
Yeah.
Is what they're projecting.
That's ridiculous.
What's going to happen to our wells? I did some research on our wells. Okay, out here. Most of our wells go 600 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They are going to run us dry. This is going to be a ghost town.
Yeah.
BNSF is going to destroy the entire West Valley. There's 5 million people out here, and it's going to affect every one of us from Surprise to Wickenburg.
Yeah. You know what irritates me is how BNSF will talk about, it's going to bring this amount of money to the community. Like, no, it's not. Like, I'm not going to see that money.
Right.
No, I'm not going to see that money at all.
But what else does it bring? It brings the things that we all moved away from.
Yeah.
Right. So there's going to be 4,000 workers or however many workers are going to be on this property. You got to feed them. Right. Which means all the restaurants are going to start coming this direction just from the simple ability to make money. Right. Which we all kind of moved out here to get away from all of that. You're going to see more gas stations popping up all over the place because now they got to service all their vehicles and all the other stuff that goes on with it. Yeah, it's scary. I mean,
it's probably going to bring some transients too. You know what I mean?
Well, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Which, I mean, that's a problem everywhere. But now there's a greater opportunity for them to get here, right?
Oh,
and let's be honest, to hide.
Well, just think of the noise alone, the light pollution. You know, the state of Arizona has the dark skies rule.
Right.
They're going to violate that without cause.
Yeah.
And they won't be held accountable.
No, they won't.
Yeah, that's a part that, really worries me from a West Valley experience.
Mm.
I was talking about this when I was in Houston a couple months ago, and, everybody assumes that Arizona is this flat desert, dirty, right? Just nothing but rattlesnakes and scorpions. And they don't realize how mountainous it is and stuff like that. Now we've all fallen in love with the lifestyle out here where it's dark nights and, clear skies and seeing the stars and listening to the animals. Now you're going to hear nothing but trains connecting and then the light pollution that's going to be hitting all of us, the horns, the diesel pollution. That's the stuff that I don't know. It just keeps getting closer and closer, and I don't understand.
We also got to realize though too is I see on a lot of the Facebook forums, and I know people that I talk to, people have this mentality like it's already going to get done. It's already going to get done. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Well, the thing is, if you're complacent and you keep that attitude, it's going to get done.
Yeah.
But if you're like us who want to fight, and who are willing to do whatever it takes to fight the railroad and go to the meetings, go to the Board of Supervisors, and tell them no. We've been giving letters out to people to follow, to actually send to the Board of Supervisors, telling them we oppose it. BNSF actually, this is a funny thing which they did. Okay, they actually sent the Board of Supervisors a bunch of emails from people. Well, actually, they're fakes, saying yes to the railroad. And the names are jokes, okay? Some of the emails resemble jokes or handles unlikely to be used in legitimate public input. Very sexual in nature and very terrible. I mean, you want me to say one of them?
Sure.
Here's one of them that the BNSF sent our county. J, me, sucks, cock. That's an email that they used to send to our Board of Supervisors. No. Crazy Zoo Mom. Army of God AZ, Gummy Bears, Rainbows, and Girls, Gothic Horrors, Bobberbot. Those are the kind of emails.
So that is irritating because I didn't know about that, right? And hearing that, I feel like they think that we don't know and we're just a bunch of dumb rednecks.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Well, and that brings me to that meeting in May. Okay. In that meeting, that's the message I got. They wanted to sit there and say, oh, we want to hear from you, blah, 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 this or that. They didn't give anybody a mic. They didn't give anybody open questions. You had to take a little stupid card. You had to write your question on it, and then you had to tag what question it came under, because they only did like 4 different PowerPoints or things to talk about, right? And I mean, just the information that they were saying was just complete dog shit. Like when they were talking about traffic, they didn't bring up anything that they were going to do, right? To the roads.
That's because they're not going to do
exactly. Anything. They only brought up the stuff that the city or the county has already planned. Like they talked about the 60 and how they added another turning lane. Well, that turning lane is going
to a community,
into a community, not helping out everybody else that's going to be affected by the traffic.
Well, and I think the other piece, like I unfortunately missed the meeting in May, but after I watched it on the news, what I didn't like is that the news painted us as a bunch of dumb rednecks. They didn't show anybody asking any quality questions, right? They showed one person have an outburst and then leave the room. Yeah. Which in turn is exactly what they want us to be portrayed as, right? The reality is there's a lot of well-known business owners out here. There's a lot of very successful people that are out here that are educated, that know what they're talking about. I mean, you've done a ton of research starting your own organization and try to, the keep us rural thing. But that's my fear, is that what's being portrayed by our community is that we're a bunch of dumb rednecks, when that is not the case.
There are a lot of very highly educated people out here. My wife is a cardiac nurse. I served 25 years in the military. I've got a master's degree in healthcare administration. So, yeah, there's a lot of very well-educated people out here. We're not rednecks. We're not stupid.
Right. Well, I mean, just those cowboys that, that do that YouTube video, right?
Oh, the Lost Cowboys? Yeah.
I mean, you can't be a dumb person and start something that big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the horse community, there's a lot of smart people.
Well, one of our board members is Kirby Anderson. He's one of our executive directors of Cape West Rural, and he lives right next door to where they're going to be building it. Actually, his ranch is surrounded by the railroad property. He's very, very, very intelligent. He has his own very, very successful business, and he's the one who started the fight against BNSF. All right, him and his group. He joined our group, and we combined efforts to fight.
Good. Okay. There was something that you mentioned earlier that I kind of wanted to go back to. Is you mentioned the petitions, that if we can get, 10%?
10%.
Then it goes to
a community vote.
And then if it gets 2/3,
it's an automatic deal.
So where are we at on that? Because I know I've signed it. I know you signed it.
Yeah.
No, that's not the petition.
Oh, okay.
Yet. That's the petition that you guys signed was against the railroad.
Okay.
Okay. The petition is going to be coming out. We will be holding that. And I've already talked to the fire department. They're going to let us use one of the bays.
Okay.
I'm going to be talking to Cigarro Janes. We can't do it at the school because it's against state law, unfortunately. But we're looking at other different avenues of finding places to sit, to have people come and sign.
Okay.
But the petition we have will be a controlled document, so it can't just go out randomly to everybody. It's got to be controlled, and it's got to be when we get the signatures on it, one person will notarize the whole thing. So, but it'll be official.
Okay, and you don't have a date on that yet?
I don't have a date. He's finalizing it now.
Do we have any dates on when they plan construction on this new rail depot?
Well, they're talking about 2028, I thought.
Oh, okay. So we have a little bit of time to shut
we still do, because
we need to do it now.
We do.
Yeah.
They're supposed to have a meeting with the Board of Supervisors on August 20th.
Okay.
To ask the board to rezone so that they can actually start building. I've heard rumbles that the railroad, because of all the opposition, has not applied the proper paperwork yet. So that date might be pushed out a little bit.
Okay.
And that's what we're hoping for. But if it's not, we need everybody. I mean, just everybody's got to go downtown. You got to take that day off. It's going to be 9 a.m, unfortunately. Take the day off or half the day off. Get down there, carpool, do whatever you can, and make a lot of noise. just get in there and just, I've already signed up to speak. I've got other people who are signed up to speak, but we've got to get down there and we've got to make noise.
I think we have a platform to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd like to know as this thing starts to progress. We're super passionate about this. This is something that when we all moved out here was to create a different lifestyle for our kids, and create a legacy that can transition down. And this is a very, very big threat to that. Mm-hmm. I want to do everything that I can, and I know you will too, to stop this thing. And again, I'm not against, advancement in whatever that looks like for us as a small town. But it can't be at the expense of our lifestyle and what it is that we all love to do.
Exactly.
So, and I think that the only way that we're going to stop that is by having groups like Keep Us Rural, or if there's other organizations that are doing the exact same thing, coming together, right? We can't fight this independently.
No.
We have to come together on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Kirby Anderson and his group and Keep Us Rural, our group, we are on the forefront of fighting for Wittmann. We need the public to come together, support Keep Us Rural, help us with donations for the attorney expenses and for advertising. Get the word of mouth out. Talk to your neighbors. The incorporation is the only way that we're going to save the rest of this West Valley. And I mean, Morristown too. Morristown needs to join us.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's really everybody west. I mean, I think really it's starting in Sun City and then moving west, right? And to be honest with you, it's going to impact Peoria.
Yeah.
Whether they want to believe it or not, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a massive flood of everybody coming back to the city.
I remember in that the little meeting that they had too. I feel like they try to make it seem like we don't want change, we don't want progression, right?
That was from BNSF.
Yeah, that's the feeling that I got. Right?
BNSF has lied on everything that they've told us.
Yeah,
they have completely lied.
Well, you also said that they really haven't done everything that they were supposed to, right?
No.
As far as like the environmental part of it and all that. But they, we're not opposed to like progression. We're not opposed to change, right?
Right. I have found a Baltimore-Washington Rail Intermodal Facility Health Impact Assessment. It paints a very, very bleak picture on the railroad hubs and communities. BNSF has not done one of these. They're not required by the state, unfortunately. But, however, as good stewards, they should be doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And they don't.
So let me ask you, one of the things that I thought was interesting and I don't know if I heard it on the Lost Cowboys or if I read it on an article somewhere, that's something to do with when these depots go in, the BNSF pays homes within so many miles to repaint every 5 years because of the damage that the diesel fumes cause to the exterior of the homes. Right. And I can't remember. I wish I would have kept the article. And the reason that I bring that up is going back to the people that live here and the animals that live here is Jesus Christ. If it's doing that much damage to a home, then we're ingesting
what is it doing to your lungs?
Correct.
Exactly.
Right. So, and I know you got a bunch of information here. And I kind of think at this point, I'd like to sit back and be educated by you, and help us understand, help our community understand what it is that we want to accomplish with Keep Us Rural.
Well, what we want to accomplish with Keep Us Rural is the incorporation. Okay. We want to fight the railroad. We want to fight big developments.
Okay.
All right. That's what we want to do. We want to have a say in our own lives. Right now, we have no say. Mm-hmm. Surprise, in the Maricopa County, they're the ones who talk for us. Okay. They're the ones who make the decisions about us. We have no rights. We have no decision making here until we incorporate.
And how can I'll just speak to Shane and I at this point right now. How do we help you get us to the point where we incorporate?
Well,
if that's the right direction.
That's the right direction. What you guys can help us do is keep getting the word out.
Okay.
We can do more podcasts. I'm willing to come and do podcasts with you guys anytime you want.
Okay.
Okay. I'm retired except for my wife and I travel a lot. But anyway, I'm very happy to come back and do more. But there's some things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Also, just the public health and safety of this railroad alone. Basically the fuel and chemical spills. They have no plan on how to manage the environmental disasters for this West Valley. None. We've asked them. I've gone to the first two meetings. One was at Asante and one was at Nanneberg. The May 6th one I was not able to get to because I was not in town. But you'd ask them questions and we don't know. What are you going to do about traffic? We don't know. What are you going to do about the spills? We don't know.
So and I know we'll have like a picture of the whole hub thing, but at the bottom right-hand corner of it is their wastewater treatment facility or plant or whatever they're going to use. But at the May 6th meeting, somebody asked the gentleman about it, and he had no answer. He had no idea. And he even, like, on the map it says that, right? And he's like, no, it's not there. Like, yes, it is. You have that right there. And there's no answer to it. There's no answer to what if that starts leaking, right? What are you guys going to do? Where is it going to go? No answer, nothing.
No, that's very typical of BNSF.
Yeah.
Very, very typical. Because one of the first meetings we went to is we asked them, well, how are you going to help with the traffic? We don't know. They had no answer whatsoever.
Their answer to that was that they said that the traffic is going to go opposite of rush hour.
That is a lie.
And I was like, what? How can you even figure that out? Like, if you're running 24 hours a day, traffic is going everywhere at any time.
Well, here's another little plan that you guys haven't heard yet. They have plans, which they have not produced to show anybody, that they're going to build a cell phone truck holding area just above Circle City.
Which means those trucks just sit there and idle.
They'll sit there and idle all day long.
Yeah,
just
really.
Above Circle City. And someone from Circle City, because I put that out there on Facebook, and someone from Circle City said, yeah, we know about that because they talked to us about that already. So, it's something.
It's already a plan.
It's already a plan. They haven't put it out to the community.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of people in Circle City, but what about the rest of us?
Yeah, and that's getting closer to Wickenburg. That's getting closer to Morristown. That's just getting up there.
And that's just more and more pollution.
Yeah.
Well, talking about pollution, the American Lung Association 2025 State Air Report delivers a sobering message. Nearly half the people living in the United States are breathing unhealthy levels of air pollution. Locomotives are the leading cause of the source of harmful and damaging air pollution. These engines release dangerous mix of emissions of particulate matter, nitrogen oxides, and greenhouse gases. The cause of health emergencies are asthma attacks, cancer, lung and heart disease, and even premature death. And that is from the Lung Association.
Damn. And that's just the air, right?
That's just the air.
That's not the water. That's not.
Can you imagine what a spill's going to do to our wells?
Oh, devastating.
Yeah, we won't have usable water again.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
No.
Because we don't have the facilities to clean them up.
Yeah. That's even if we have any water, right?
Well, that's if they don't drink us dry first, yeah.
Right?
Well, just look at Palestine, Ohio. Their water's all screwed up. They had a derailment back in Minnesota not too long ago, and they didn't tell that community what happened. They knew no knowledge of it, and their groundwater is still contaminated.
Well, we were talking before you got here is like, I think about Lake Pleasant, right? So they're talking about 211th Avenue to Carefree Highway and Carefree Highway to I-17. Traffic in and out of Lake Pleasant right now is terrible.
Yes, it is.
You had 22,000 trucks. Even let's break it down to 2,000 trucks a day going 211th Carefree Highway. The city of Peoria is going to lose all of the revenue from Lake Pleasant. Nobody's going to go to Lake Pleasant anymore.
Yeah, people will get real mad.
Getting in and out of there is going to be impossible.
Just imagine the accidents of these trucks going, 80 miles an hour
down that thing.
Yeah.
Well, Quintero is like one of the state's nicest golf courses is out there.
Oh, dude.
Nobody's going to go out there.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get in and out of there.
Well, and then you're not going to have that peace and quiet.
Right.
Right? Because that's why people want to go out there, is because it's nice and quiet. But you got trucks coming
the
24 hours a day, the lights,
Yeah, there's an exclusive resort that's out there that's like, I think you have to stay like 3 days minimum, and it's like a spa or whatever. Like that thing's nobody's gonna go out there.
I mean, and then think about like the accidents.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like not everybody's a perfect driver. A lot of these.
That's putting it mildly. Every Friday, the 63rd and Grand's gridlocked.
The ones with the license plates from California.
Yeah. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like a lot of these truckers, they have to abide by like a certain amount of sleep and stuff. Hours. But they're pressured to get their shit to and from the place on time. So that's not always being done. They're not getting the sleep that they need.
No, they're fudging books. Yeah. Because they've got logbooks that they have to follow.
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be electronic, so hopefully they can figure that out.
Right, with GPS and all that stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as far as the keeping this rural part of it, I'm kind of curious as to like how exactly that. So if we do incorporate ourselves, is there going to be an election on people that want to run? Is there going to be a committee that has to be elected? And how does all that kind of work out?
Oh, that's a good question. Basically, once we get the petition done into the hands of the Board of Supervisors, they approve it. What they do is they elect the very first council.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The council then elects the very first mayor. And then that lasts for a couple of years, and then it goes to a general election after that.
Gotcha.
That would be such an interesting transition for this community.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one.
I do too. I think there's a lot of fear behind it because it's been uncontrolled for so long,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's probably most people's fear is the control piece. Where I see it a little bit differently, and maybe that's because this is my first time living this rural, but some control is good, right? And it's not so much control that we're going to be told what we can and cannot do, but to me, it's a sense of protection, right? Is that now we have the ability to fight.
Yeah.
We have a say in our own government. Yeah. We have a say in our own lives.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I was like thinking about this the other day, and the people that say like, it's already going to happen. You're just wasting time, blah, blah, blah. It's really irritating because, like if you look at politics and where we are at in America today, right? Everybody's so focused on the president, right? Oh, Joe Biden, Trump, blah, 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 right? That's at the very top. Okay. We need to understand that we can make an impact. We can fight government. We can fight that stuff right here, right now, as long as we all stick together.
Yeah, exactly.
And be educated.
Yeah.
Do your research, like what we're doing right now. Coming into this, we actually openly admitted, we're like, we don't know enough about this to openly fight it ourselves. I want to be educated because I do want to have a say, right? I want to know that the community that we're raising our kids in is the community that we want mm-hmm. and the culture that we want. We need people like you to be out here educating us and making sure that we know and again, I don't need you to tell me what's right and wrong for me, but to be able to educate me on the specifics of how this is going to impact us
mm-hmm.
so that we can all make educated decisions. Like that's the piece that we need our community educated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the word out. We're trying to, we need to stop the big developments.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We don't need surprise in Wittmann. Just take a look at some of the housing they have down there. The high-rise apartments. You want a high-rise apartment beside you?
No.
Well, I sold my house and moved out because they were going to have low-income apartment complexes right outside my community.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it's not like there's a place for all of that, right? But you don't go build a beautiful brand new house just to have within 500 yards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, out here, it's a Western style of living out here, and that's why
live
people
the way you
move
want.
out
That's
here.
why I moved out here.
Yeah, exactly. And I get the progression and I get the advancements of moving forward and all that, but it doesn't have to be everywhere.
Right.
But at least if we can control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an incorporated Wittmann, we can control those developments.
Or just have a say, right?
Exactly.
Like have an opinion that's valued. versus just being told what we are and are not going to do.
Yeah. Aren't they also plan on kind of expanding a little bit further than just that hub, right? Because on that map, it only shows as going to 211th, but isn't there stuff going more west that they're going to?
That's all ranch property and Air Force.
No,
I'm not sure.
On the north side of
74
of the 60. I could have sworn I heard something like that.
Well, the north side of 60 it's 211th Avenue west, north of the 60.
Yeah, I know.
And then on the right side,
I thought they were going to keep going west, or I mean, I'm sorry, east.
Well, those are all ranches. That's ranches and Air Force on the west on the east side of 211th.
Uh-huh.
That's ranches, and I believe that's Air Force on that corner.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
I
mean, when we were going to the lake all summer last summer, there's property that lines that.
Yeah.
That's why when they said it was on 211th, I'm like, how the hell is that possible? Outside of the abandoned building that's there, right? Which I don't even know what the hell that used to be, but on the right hand side, going down 211th Avenue, there's like a random abandoned building where people like spray painted it and stuff like that. Go drive down 211th and you'll see it on the left hand side.
Yeah.
Well, I know 211th goes into where the school is, so it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So
I don't know if a lot of people know that too, but I know that BNSF also has given donated money to the schools.
Yep.
Yeah, to try to influence, them being here, because my daughter was doing archery, and you see the little BNSF logo there, trying to get in there that way,
trying to smooth us over.
Yeah. So
there's no smoothing me over. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. So when is the next event that Keep Us Rural is going to host?
The next event will be when we get the petition in our hands, and when we get that, we will advertise that heavily on Facebook. We'll use the Keep Us Rural page and also the Wittmann pages. So if you're a Wittmann resident and you're not on Keep Us Rural, please join Keep Us Rural. You'll get most of the updates there. We do a lot of updates in the other Wittmann pages, but we like to try to keep it within our own page. But make sure you answer the questions. There's questions that, do you live in Wittmann? What's cross streets, stuff like that, and answer the questions, because we got people who are trying to join, and I look at their Facebook page and they're from nowhere around here. Yeah. It's like, why do we want you here?
Yeah.
Unless you live here and want to make a change, help us out. Okay.
Can people from Surprise sign this stuff, or is it specific?
It's specifically Wittmann, because one of the major costs that we had to do was the meets and bounds. That is defining our town. Mm-hmm. Okay. We had a surveyor come out and define the area for us, all the legal descriptions, and that cost us $3,800. That was all donations by the community. Okay. I mean, the community has been very gracious, been supportive. It's just that there's some people who have not been able to, or don't even know about the donations or how to give us donations. They can contact me on Facebook and ask, stuff like that. We got Zelle, we've got Venmo. They can do that.
So we have talked about how Wittmann residents can, fight this, right? We've also talked about how this is going to affect Wickenburg, Surprise, Sun City, Peoria. How can they
get in the fight,
be involved, other than just listening and sharing, videos and podcasts and stuff? But how can they get into the fight?
They can get into the fight very easily by sending a letter to the Board of Supervisors. Every one of them. Don't skip one. Just every one of them. There's sample letters out there on Facebook. If they contact me, I can send them a sample letter. Make sure that they have the number for the railroad. There's a specific number for planning and commission that they need. They can contact me. I can make sure that they get that letter. We've got our own email. It's it's Wittmann2025@hotmail.com is our email.
Okay.
So And this is all public information. So like the county supervisor is Debbie Lesko.
Yes.
Have you been in contact with her at all? Have you talked to her? Or?
Yeah, I have talked to her, and I've had emails with her, and she's very supportive of us. She's very supportive of Wittmann. She does know that we are intending to incorporate. When I spoke with her at the Sun City West Republicans meeting a few weeks ago, I gave her my card and we discussed it. And she said right now it's a really hard no for her to approve it.
Okay.
So she said it would take something absolutely major for her to approve it. And hopefully the other board of supervisors will follow her lead and say no.
Now, does the board of supervisors from obviously Debbie, but like Surprise and all the other areas, those are the ones that are going to be voting as well?
Yes, there's 5 of them.
5 of them? Okay, so all 5 are.
They're in different regions around the area.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking at that, and I only wrote down 3 of them, which one was like the Peoria one, here, the Wittmann, and I think she does Surprise as well. Or I think somebody else does Surprise. But so they're all going to vote.
They're all going to vote. Yes.
Okay.
There's 5 of them.
Okay. And then as far as like when you say write a letter, right? Is that like a handwritten letter?
No,
there's email. Can we email?
Yeah, you can email them or mail them. I would actually do both.
Do both?
Yeah, I do both because the form letters are great, and you just got to put your personal information in, your address, and your phone number and stuff, and you just email it to them, and also do a physical mailing.
Okay.
I would do both.
Yeah.
Now that's something you already have pre-set up.
Yes.
I almost think let's get that.
Yeah.
Right, and then we can share that on our social media platforms.
Yeah, we could put all the links on there and everything.
Yeah,
so people could just click.
And even, because I'll fill them out too, but I think that it's just another avenue to get it out even further for those that may not be following you guys, but may be following us.
Right.
At least we can get our following.
Yeah.
To fill it out.
The more letters of opposition we get to the Board of Supervisors, the better it'll be for us.
Yeah. The bigger the voice, right?
Well, apparently Sun City West, their community, I don't remember the name. They've got an official name, but they've actually all voted to be against BNSF.
Okay.
So there was a lot of people down there.
Is that a governing community or just like
it's
like
kind of like a Quasimodo governing community for their specific area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also remember too, you mentioned how the city of Surprise is against this railroad as well, right?
They're against it too.
You want to speak on that a little bit?
I had a meeting with one of the council members, Nate, a few weeks ago, and I brought to him our concerns and also our incorporation ideas, and he and I are going to have some future meetings together. But as of right now, Surprise don't want it either.
I can't imagine that. Outside of BNSF, who wants it here?
Nobody in the West Valley.
Yeah, nobody does. I feel like.
Yeah.
Shit.
State revenue, I could understand.
Yeah.
Locally, I can't imagine that money would ever even filter close to us.
Well, if we fail our efforts, what's going to happen is, if we don't incorporate and BNSF does come in, okay, and we don't incorporate, Surprise will probably get all the tax revenue. If we incorporate and we still fail at BNSF, we'll get the tax revenue.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. There is tax revenue to be made, but does that offset our health?
No.
Does that offset our lifestyle?
No, not at all.
We don't need a big government here in Wittmann. We need a very small government. We basically need a town manager, and we need a city clerk. City clerk is full time. Everybody else can be part time.
Well, I think that was one of the things that I heard when the incorporation piece started was that, well, that means we have to have our own officials and all this other stuff, which means cost, right? So then everybody was concerned about property taxes. I'll be honest. I'd rather my property taxes go up to be able to keep our way of life than to have some tax revenue come in that decimates the way that we live.
Yeah. Well, there has to be some sort of sacrifice, right?
Right.
Well, I've got the estimated revenues, from the state of Arizona, the Arizona City Leagues and Cities, based on, 10,000 people that live here. We've got a lot more than that. Okay. Basically, we would receive a total of $5,477. That's an estimated revenue for the year. That was based on the 23-24 time frame. Okay. We've got more people here now than we had back then. Just look past 253rd on Patton going toward 259th on the left-hand side going west. There's 30 new homes popped up.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's 2 people per home, there's more than that. Okay. That's 60 people right there.
Yeah.
So our population has expanded big time. So we would get different monies from the urban revenue sharing, state sales tax, highway user revenue fund, and vehicle license tax. So we would be getting state money. The taxes for us here, what we're paying Maricopa County for a tax, will come to us instead.
That's if we incorporate.
That's if we incorporate.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. This is all if we incorporate. We're already paying the fire department with our taxes. We already pay for that.
Yeah.
I've talked to the sheriff of Maricopa County last year, and I got a cost estimate for them providing 3 sheriffs, for 3 shifts per day of about $750,000 to $1 million a year. It's right there. There's the money. Mayor, part-time. City council, part-time. We do not need a big government. And that's my push. I do not want a big government.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what people need to understand, right? Is yes, there's some costs that are going to go to it, but the tax revenue that we can generate from it will offset those and then some.
Correct.
Right? But I know a lot of people move rural to not have anybody tell them what to do and what not to do. And I think that's the fear of this incorporation thing. I feel more educated for sure. Just by, and I do want to have this. Let's do this again, maybe multiple times to be more educated. Because I think, again, just sitting here and talking just for the last, almost hour, I feel more educated to be able to, and my stepdad's in politics in California. And when we talk about this stuff, I always tell him I don't vote unless I'm educated on it, because I think an uneducated vote is worse than than no vote. But I think that's where we need, as a community, to invest the time and the energy to understand the impacts of these things, not just the BNSF Railway, right, or the depot, but if we do incorporate, how does that impact us? If we don't incorporate, how does that impact us?
Well, if we don't incorporate, then Surprise will probably be the one we'll be answering to. They'll make all our decisions.
Yeah.
Maricopa County will make our decisions. Do you want to make a decision for yourself, or do you want someone else to make it for you?
Sure.
Right. And when you're talking about Surprise, it's a pretty big city now with a lot of people, and a lot of people that don't live this lifestyle, that don't have what we have, right? No knock to them, but at the end of the day, when they go to those voting polls and stuff, are they going to be thinking about our horses? Are they going to think about our deserts, our roads? Right? They're not going to be thinking about that.
That is a great point you just made, because if we don't incorporate and Surprise puts it on their ballot, what to do with Wittmann, guess who does not get the vote? Us.
Right.
We do not get the vote because we're not in Surprise.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Well, I definitely feel more educated by having you out. I really think that there's, an opportunity for us to help. Just as far as the education piece, I'm not going to go out there and say that I can influence people, but I think we can help educate people. And I think, I would definitely like to do this again and again, maybe multiple times. And, maybe you get some of your compadres that are helping you do this thing on here. But if, in just the kind of next closing couple of minutes, if there are a couple of talking points that you would like to hit before we finish up today, what else would you like us to know?
Well, I basically guess that if you want to control your destiny, if you want to control your lives, incorporate. Because if you don't control your own lives and your own destiny, someone else will do it for you.
Okay.
And do you want that? Do you want Surprise making your own decisions?
No.
Do you want Surprise telling you that you can't have a horse, you can't have a chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want them to tell us, we're going to put an HOA in again? Who wants an HOA?
No.
That's one of the big things that I'll be putting into our government. No more HOAs. Yeah. I know we already got a couple. but we're not going to have no more.
Yeah.
No more. 1 house per acre. And when we do our planning commission, you're going to have to prove to us that you have exactly 1 acre or more. If it's slightly less than an acre, you're not approved.
There you go.
We're going to be very strict.
Good.
And we just want to keep that rural lifestyle.
Yeah.
We came out here for a reason.
Amen.
You know, I moved down here in 21 from Minnesota. Okay. And I was looking at all the different areas. And I visited Wittmann back in 2017 because my sister lived here. Okay. And when I decided in 2020 to move down here, I looked at Casa Grande. I looked at Scottsdale. I looked everywhere. And I looked at Wittmann, and it's like rural. I'm a rural guy. I had 20 acres in Minnesota. I ran horses. I competed in cowboy mountain shooting. You know, I did everything with horses. And that's where I wanted to be.
Sure.
So that's why I chose Wittmann.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I kind of have that same thing too. When we lived in Indiana when I was trying to be a lineman, you know, I never lived in a small town until I lived out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like living in a small town. And that's what I feel like we have here. We have small town living. We
Mm-hmm.
have small town people. And we just want to try to keep it as small town as we can.
Yeah.
All right. We're not opposed to improvements. We're not opposed to having a nice mom and pop restaurant
Right.
down here, you know, but we are opposed to having Walmart come in,
Right.
Target come in.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want a Sam's Club. We got one right down the road.
We don't need an Olive Garden.
No.
No, we don't. No,
I got my wife for that.
Right.
I'd love to get a mom and pop,
Yeah.
maybe a brewery.
Yeah.
Shoot, I wanted to get trackside. We talked about that
Oh,
when
yeah.
that thing went up for sale. I was like, man, I'd love to buy that and turn it into like a legit saloon with some hitching posts out front where you ride your horses up
Yeah.
there. And
Well, that would be cool.
right?
I'm going to tell you, have you ever been in trackside?
No.
It needs some major updates.
That's, well, but we talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, let's turn it into something like that people want to go to. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's. I heard it's going to be a carniceria, but I don't
That's
know what's
what I
been
heard
done
too.
to it.
But I haven't seen a whole lot of movement down there either.
No. So, well, Jeff, we appreciate you coming out. Again, I think we do this a couple more times before the election or before the petition. But definitely keep Shane and I in the loop on how we can help.
Yes, send us information,
as much
new information, whatever we can do.
Well, just join Keep Us Rural.
Okay.
You know, on Facebook and have your followers join us.
Okay.
You know, we need donations for the attorneys, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think the same goes for you. Like, you know, share our stuff with your group and community, because this is really the platform that gives everybody an opportunity to have a voice. We told you, like, Random Attitudes podcast is really just about opening up to anything and everything, right? But everybody.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you coming out, spending the morning with us, and educating us.
Just one real quick thing.
Yes.
I know we're trying to close it out. The next important date for this BNSF Railroad is what date?
August 20th.
August 20th.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Down
where's that
in the
at?
Supervisors area, down in Maricopa County.
Okay. Can you get us the address that this is going to be held, and then we'll post something about that.
Right. And I'll keep you informed if I
Okay.
hear anything more, if they're going to have it or if they're going to delay it more or whatever.
Yeah,
But
keep us in the loop.
Yeah, I will, definitely. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me
Hey,
on, guys.
thank
We
you so
really,
much.
really
All right, Jeff.
appreciate it.
That was great.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
August 20th.
August
I better
20th,
see you out there.
Yeah.
You, friends, everyone's gonna be friends. And plus, you better ride like you ride.